Hey, I need y'all to be quiet, okay? Uh,
Me, marriage means more than just being in love with somebody. I'm a high maintenance girly. I have a lot that I want out of life. Our connection is
Waylon, get my headphones out of my bag.
Hey everyone, welcome in. We've got about 1 more minute um, before we get started. If you've joined us in the last minute or so, if you will just make sure as you're joining, if you'll figure out how to mute yourself. We have potentially up to 50 students that will be joining this
They're
Zoom
in,
today. And then also if you can update your user ID so that it's your
they're in that
first
little
and last
bag.
name.
Yes, they are.
That way, when we take attendance, we know who is here. So some of your IDs I'm seeing, we have like a Zoom user and a Samsung. If you can figure out how to change that to your first and last name, that would be very helpful for us. It's just now 5:30, so let's wait just like 30 more seconds to see if anybody else joins, and then we will get started.
They're in that flower bag. Look, all in my bag. They're in.
All right, we are going to go ahead and get started today. Just a couple of housekeeping things before Delana jumps in and really kicks us off. First, we want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today for your virtual Bike Ready session. We hope you guys find this session valuable with some good, solid information. We will respect your time. So we do plan on trying to get everybody out of this session by 6:30. So with that, just two housekeeping things, and I'll pass it to Delana. The first thing is if you can try and stay muted for this session. Of course, if you have a question at any time, please feel free to interrupt myself or Delana. This is a very informal type of setting, so unmute, ask your questions, or you can also type your questions in the chat and we will work on answering your questions there as well. Second thing is if on your user ID, if you can make sure that says your first and last name, that's going to help us take attendance for today. And I think that's all I have. So Delana, whenever you're ready to kick us off, I think we're ready.
Okay, sounds great. My name is Delana Marcarell. I am the Enrollment Center Advisor. You will probably see my emails from time to time. If you have any questions, you can always call me, email me. You can schedule an appointment with me. So we're going to kind of go over a little bit today of what we're going to go through to teach you how to get into your My Carl Albert and different things like that today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can see what we're going to go through today. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we
It should be the Vike Ready session. Okay, so this is what we're doing today. And I'm going to introduce ourselves. Of course, my name is Delana Marcarell. Like I said, I'm the Enrollment Advisement Specialist here at Carl Albert. And we also have Kyla Bailey. She's the Director of our Enrollment and Advancement or Advisement. And then we also have Rachel Johnson. She's the Vice President of our Enrollment Management. If you anytime that you have questions or anything, reach out to us. And of course, I guess I'll let Ashley introduce herself a little bit more. Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, okay. Hey everyone, my name is Ashley Moore. I am a recruiting and admissions counselor here at Carl Albert State College. Um, you might have seen an email or two from me as well. In the summer, I'm really focused on enrollment, helping get you guys set up. And then in the fall and the spring, I'm out generally in high schools recruiting our future first-time freshmen. But we're glad to have you here today, and Delena's got a little bit more, so we'll just keep on it going.
Okay, we're just going to go over the icebreaker real quick since there's so many on here. Okay, today we're going to go over, like I said earlier, we're going to review your class schedules. We're going to confirm your courses today, set up your student accounts, check your student email. Just remember to do that daily because that your college email is where all of the official ways that they're going to be contacting you. Your instructors will be contacting you that through your email, and anything that comes from the college will now be on your college email. Okay. Okay. So I think Ashley is going to take over now and go through the rest of the presentation. I'm going to go ahead.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and unshare. There we go. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Okay, just so you guys know, I did in the chat I dropped my personal You Can Book Me link. So after this session, if you still have questions, you still need help with things, and you need to book an appointment with myself or Delana, I sent my link in there. And then I'll have Delana drop her You Can Book Me link as well. Um, but let's go ahead and jump in. And then, like I said, if you guys have any questions throughout, please feel free to unmute yourselves or drop it in the chat, and we'll take care of you there. Okay. So the first thing that we want to look at, and if you would like to open another tab on your devices and kind of go through these steps with me, you totally can. We are recording this session and we do have other resources we can send to you later. We'll also send you this slideshow so you know how to like log into all your accounts. So if you haven't done this yet, the first thing that we're going to look at is your My Carl Albert account. So I'm going to click on this link. Maybe. Actually, let's start here. So you can access your My Carl Albert self-service account. This is just through carlalbert.edu. So I'm going to click right here under admissions and click on My Carl Albert. Now, the very first time that you go and do this, what you're going to need to do is click reset password. In here, you're going to need to type in your ID number. All of you should have received your schedule, and on your fall schedule, it'll say your name, and then in parentheses, it'll have your student ID number. And so then you'll complete the rest of this to reset your password. Once you do this, then you'll be able to log in. I'm going to log in here underneath our fake student account, old trusty Chuck Norris. And so this is what your self-service screen is going to look like. This is where you can access almost everything that you're going to need for your time here at Carl Albert. So the student finance tab, that is going to be where everything that would be with the business office, that's what this is going to be right here. It usually is kind of slow to load, but this is going to show you what your balance is. So if you're like, oh, hey, I want to know how much I'm going to owe, then this is where this is going to be. This is also where you're going to need to set up a payment plan. Once it comes time to enroll for the spring semester, you will not be able to enroll in classes unless your balance is below, is $4.99 or below, or if you're set up on a payment plan, then we'll be able to enroll you in classes. If not, you'll end up having a business office hold. So this is where you can pay for things, sign up for that payment plan, see how much you owe, and maybe cry a little bit because college is expensive. But here at Carl Albert, we are the most affordable. All right. The next tab that we are going to look at, if it will let me go back, is going to be financial aid. If you click on this, this is going to show you everything that is, if you need to take care of anything for financial aid, if you haven't completed your FAFSA yet, make sure you're getting on that, get that completed. And then this is going to tell you what kind of financial aid you're awarded. So that's what that one is. Go back to this little house. Okay. Later on, when it comes time for you to be able to graduate from Carl Albert, you'll be able to apply for graduation here. Underneath this grades term, whenever your instructors submit your midterm grades and your final grades, those will be posted here underneath this grades. This is not going to be your weekly grades. That is going to be found in Blackboard. Student planning is right here, and I'll go over that in a little bit more detail here in a little bit. But here's what we really need to focus on right now. So if I've already lost you, tune back in because you need to do this. So underneath each one of these things, there are some things that you need to update. So what you'll need to do is go through all of these. We've got user profile. You need to make sure that all of your information is up to date. This is really important that this is up to date, that any address or phone numbers are up to date. I cannot tell you how many times a student will have 5 phone numbers on their account and 3 of them are disconnected and 2 phone somebody else. So please make sure that's updated so that if we need to reach out to you, we've got good information. The next thing that you need to go through is your emergency information. You'll go through, update any of that. After that is the view and add proxy. This is very important if you have somebody else who might end up calling the college on your behalf to check on certain things. Because of like security laws and things like that, we cannot share any information about you, right? So if somebody, mom, dad, husband, wife, sister, child, whoever calls and tries to ask questions about your financial aid or wanting to pay off your business things, needing to access anything else, you have to have them on here as a proxy. You have the option to allow complete access or just a financial aid, just academics, or just to general notifications. Again, if somebody calls on your behalf, we cannot tell them anything at all about you unless they are a proxy. So make sure that you do that. The next thing underneath here is your required document. Now for old Chuck here, he's not registered in any classes. So if you have anything that you need to upload, that's going to be here. And then after that, your required agreements. So you want to make sure that you've gone through and accepted any agreements in this section. And if you've accepted, it'll have this green spot where it says accepted. Okay, so those are the things that if you haven't done already, you really need to do those things before classes start. Other than that, we call it My Carl Albert, we call it your self-service portal. This is where a lot of your good information is going to be held. All right. The next thing that I want to go over is Blackboard, but I'm going to pause for just a moment and see if anybody has any questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself or type it in the chat.
I do. I have a question.
Yeah, go for it, Brittany.
Does our scholarship show up after the drop date? Because mine is not showing up yet.
Yes, yes, that is correct. That is correct information. So the last day to drop classes, I'm looking at my calendar here, is going to be August 25th. So after that day is when financial aid in the business office will go in and start applying any scholarships and any financial aid that you will be receiving for the semester. The reason why they wait till after that day is just to make sure that you really are going to stay in the same amount of hours that you intended in the first place. So, yes. And then if for any reason after that August 25th, you're not seeing your scholarships or financial aid applied, please make sure you call the financial aid office to get that straightened out. That was a
Okay,
great
thank you.
question. Yeah. Thank you, Brittany. All right. This little thing is in my way here. All right, the next thing that we're going to look at is we're going to look at Blackboard. So I'm just going to go back to just our regular website here, carlauber.edu. I'm going to click on Blackboard. Now, you might have noticed if any of you are fully online students, you could have been added to something called VOLO, and that is our Viking orientation to online learning or something like that. I don't remember the full name. And that's going to be found underneath the organizations tab. That is kind of just the same thing that we're doing today, but just in Blackboard. But where you're going to spend most of your time in Blackboard is right here under courses. Now, classes haven't started yet for the fall, right? So if you do have any courses already in your Blackboard, they're going to be locked. If you don't have any courses in your Blackboard yet, don't panic. Those will show up when classes open on August 12th. It's very, very important that you log into your classes on August 12th and complete that first assignment. Typically, that first assignment is going to be a course syllabus, and then all instructors have their thing set up a little bit different. But there's going to be somewhere on here where it's like a syllabus quiz or something, and you'll click yes or no. This is going to help your instructor to know that, okay, they're here, they've checked in, they're ready to go. If you have an online class and you don't log in and complete that first assignment within that first couple of days, you will be dropped as a no-show from that class. So make sure that you are signing into those classes, those online classes, August 12th or at least August 13th. Okay? All right. So that is Blackboard. The next thing is going to be your student email. Your student email is, it's a Gmail account, but it has this @student.carlalbert.edu. It is very, very important that you get your student email set up ASAP, okay? Because from here on out, your instructors, your advisors, anybody here at Carl Albert who needs to get a hold of you, they are going to be emailing you through your student email. We're not going to be using your personal emails anymore after that. So we want to make sure that that gets set up. Your My Carl Albert, your Blackboard, and your student email will all be the same password. If you ever have any trouble logging into that, we've got a great IT department that can help you reset anything. So there is all of that. Okay. Any questions about your self-service, Blackboard, or student email? Let's see, Michaela, I'm reading for Pell Grants, is it the same as scholarships? Yes. So for Pell Grants, any financial aid, whether it's scholarship, Pell Grants, loans, anything like that, if you, sorry, I'm got distracted reading some more. Okay, those will all be applied after that August 25th drop date. Yes, that's correct. And then if all your financial aid and all your scholarships and everything end up paying all those bills and you get leftover money, we do have points in the semester called disbursement, which means you get your money back. And that you'll words are hard sometimes. You'll need to make sure you set up your direct deposit for that. Okay? Awesome. I'm going to keep on moving. Okay. We already did all that. We did all that. Okay. Like I said, this Volo thing is going to be the same thing kind of that we're doing here, right? But if you're ever like, what did Ashley say about that? Then you can access that through that organizations tab on Blackboard. All right. Super important tech requirements. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure you have some strong connection to Wi-Fi. It's just how it is right nowadays. You want to make sure you have access to Google for your Gmail for all school-related emails. I want to pause right here and say that make sure that whenever you are opening anything for Karl Albert, our website, your self-service, your Blackboard, your email, that you are using Google Chrome and not something else, not Microsoft Edge, not Firefox, if that is even still a thing, right? Our websites and things are not super compatible with those, whatever you call it, right? So if you're on like Microsoft Edge and you're like, I can't log into my stuff, what's going on? Make sure you're on Google Chrome. That's usually one big tech problem that people end up having, and it's just as simple as use Google Chrome.
What
Uh,
about, sorry, what
yeah,
about Outlook?
Outlook.
Yes,
I mean, your best bet is going to be Chrome. You can try Outlook.
that's what I'm using now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, through Zoom, its Outlook is going to be perfectly fine. If it does load for you on Outlook, great, awesome. But sometimes Blackboard and some of the things your instructors upload in Blackboard for some reason is just not friendly with other services. But if it works for you, great. But if not, the first technical thing you'll want to check is switch into Google Chrome if you can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then if you have any technical issues throughout the semester, here is the link to our IT department. Again, we love all of our people in our IT department. They're usually really quick, really on it. Now, give them some grace the first couple weeks of school. Everybody's back on campus. Poto, Salsal campus, online campus, and they get flooded with all kinds of things. So if you're trying to reach out to them within the first couple weeks, give them some grace. They know you're stressed, but we'll get you taken care of. All right. Now that we've gone through all that, let's talk about some of our resources that we offer. So right now, you might be wondering, okay, got my classes, got my schedules. What books am I gonna need, right? So we actually have a textbook lookup on our website, and on your schedules, there's like a course ID and a code, and so you'll use those to figure out what your textbook will be. So I'm going to click on this just to show you briefly. So for example, it'll start here, and then you'll choose whatever your class is, and you'll keep going, and then it will tell you what textbook you're going to need. Now, textbooks don't go on sale in our bookstore till the beginning of August. That's why everything will say out of stock right now. I will let you know. This is it just sucks. Books cost so much. I'm just going to get real with you for a second. If you are in a class that needs an access code, that could be a plethora of classes. Okay. You cannot buy that used. You can not buy that anywhere cheaper. So like, for example, this biology class, it has a Connect card. That is an access code. that means that you're going to have to pay that $143. And yes, that sucks and it's dumb. We all know it's dumb. We all hate it. That's just how it is, unfortunately. Now, if it's an actual book, you know, because people kind of use those still nowadays. If it's an actual book, you can buy it used, you can buy it new, you can check on Amazon, you can check our bookstore, you can phone a friend and see if they have it. One more thing I want to let you guys know about access codes or like connect cards. Say you get into biology, just because I have that pulled up as an example. You get into biology, halfway through your semester, you're like, whoops, life kicked me in the rear. I'm going to have to withdraw from this biology class. Guess what? Next time you take biology, you have to buy that access code again. It is not transferable from semester to semester. Those access codes are only good for one semester. So that also sucks. Just being real with you. Okay, but that's how you can look up your textbooks. I don't know if any of you are in an interim class next week, which is the class where you come on campus for one full week. It's that Monday, Friday, 8 to 5. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just forget I said that, right? But Miss Harley Martin wanted me to tell you guys that if you're in her history interim class, you don't need a book for that interim class. She wanted me to just shout that out if just in case. I'm reading the chat. It says, can you bill your books to your account? Unfortunately, the only way that you can do something like that is if your financial aid covers your books. If you're not using your financial aid, that means anything you get through FAFSA, loans, grants, scholarships, if they're not specifically for books, you cannot just charge your books to your business office account. Um, we wish we could do it that way, but we can't. So only financial aid if you have whatever you need for that. I'm not the financial aid guru. You'll have to talk with them. Um, that's the only way you can charge your books. Okay, great question. Any other questions on books before I keep going? Beautiful. Okay. So we've got, just because, and like I said, we might be a mix of fully online, in person, whatever, students with us today. But no matter what campus you're at, Poto, Salsa, online, all of these services are available to you. So we have our EOC, which is our Educational Opportunity Center. They like to help with your FAFSA. So if you're ever having any problems completing FAFSA, those are your go-to people. Completing the FAFSA, that is EOC. Once your FAFSA is processed, then that's the financial aid office. If you have not completed your FAFSA, don't call the financial aid office. They'll send you to EOC. Okay. EOC, they'll also help with other kinds of college planning, scholarship guidance, ACT test prep, AccuPlacer test prep. If you just need advice on what am I going to do with my life, they're there to help you with that too. Our student support services. This is going to be a little bit different. There are amazing people in there and they would love to help you. However, you do have to apply for this services. So they're looking for, if you're a first generation college student, if you have some kind of disability or special needs, and then there's one more, I can't remember what it is, but there's something else that you can do to qualify for Student Support Services or SSS. They offer all kinds of wonderful services. And if you think that is you, you can fill out that jot form link and apply. Okay, we also have Choctaw Nation on our campus. So if you know that you could maybe be receiving benefits through Choctaw, Katie Her is going to be your go-to person for that. So if you have any questions about that, you'll want to go to her. And then the harbor. The harbor offers so many different things. They're going to help with any kind of counseling. So if you're struggling and you're needing some like mental health help, right? They can help you. If you are out in the world and you need help with finding a job or whatever, they're there to help you. If you just need to vent to somebody, they're there to help you. If you're on campus and you want to sit in a massage chair, they've got those. Okay? So they are just here to wrap their arms around you and give you a big old hug and help however. This is going to be our Choctaw Nation services. They've got a freshman year initiative. So if you are a first-time freshman and you have a Choctaw Nation tribal card, and if you're in full-time and you're on the Poto campus, then you would be eligible for this initiative. Again, if that's you, contact Katie. And then we also have links here to our Cherokee Nation tribal services. So if you're Choctaw or Cherokee, we've got services for you. All right. I'm going to pause right there and answer a couple more of these questions in the chat. So the question is, if you are using a Pell Grant and scholarships for books and classes, will you still be able to start if it's showing you owe more than $500? If you are set up on a payment plan, then there are ways to work around to get you enrolled into the next semester. That's going to be, the business office is going to be able to help you out with that. If you are not set up on a payment plan at all, even if you are on any kind of financial aid, your balance has to be $4.99 or below before we can register you for classes. Again, financial aid and business office, they can help you navigate that when it comes time as well. Okay. So financial aid, they're going to help with things like submitting request documents, your award packages, your student loans. That's going to be all of them. If you're needing help paying for school, those are your people. We've got their contact information here as well. The business office, right? These are going to be where you're going to pay for your stuff. And then if you get disbursement, then they'll pay you. Questions for the business office, you can call them or email them, or if you happen to be on campus at any time, you can always stop by and talk to them. Okay. Here we have a map of our Poto campus. So if you're ever on campus and you need to figure out where to go, Delana and I right now, we are located in the enrollment center. So this green building right here, that's going to be Hemphill Hall. That's going to be where admissions, financial aid, business office, all those places are. And then we're in this little tiny green building behind it. If you have any classes on campus, your classes are either going to be in the Ollie Center, which is this blue building. That's going to be like English, history, things like that. The Reed Center is going to be like math and science. This blue business center right here, right now on the first floor of that is where the bookstore is at. And then the second and third floors will have some business classes or computer science classes. And then as soon as they're done with construction, this red building over here is going to be our cafeteria, and eventually our bookstore will move over there. Okay. All right, let's talk about your schedules. Before I do that, I'm going the wrong way. Before I do that, let me show you on your My Carl Albert self-service how you can look at your own schedule. So once again, we're going to go to My Carl Albert. We're going to sign in. You have access to be able to move things around on your schedule. And that is all going to be found here. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is view your progress. This is how you can see what classes you need, what classes you've taken, and what maybe you're planned for. So our friend Chuck here, right? He's business administration. So all of these classes is everything that he's going to need to be able to complete his degree. So a lot of this is in red because he hasn't started these classes yet. This one right here is this yellowish color because it's planned, right? That just means his advisor has planned that for him. If this was green, it would either say registered, meaning he's about to start those classes, or completed, meaning that he's completed that. Okay, so this is where you can keep an eye on how far along you are till you graduate. Once graduation comes, this is where you can also apply to graduation, and this is where you can also check in on your GPA. Your GPA here will be updated after your final grades get posted. That's when that gets updated right there. Okay. So now let's look at your plan and your schedule. Now, if whenever you click on this, you have all these red notifications, you'll need to make sure you go to the 3 bars, user options. That's where you would do all of those things. Okay, this is going to be where you can see how your advisor has planned you out. So we can plan you out. We can also move things around from semester to semester. So if you're wanting to kind of move stuff around, you totally can. And then right here is wherever you would be able to see your schedule on exactly what is either planned for you or what you're registered in. So for example, if I'm looking at this principles of macroeconomics class and I want to figure out which one, right? So like this one has a wait list. There's an option here. That's where you can pick and choose which section you want. So that is how you can go in. Now, it's going to be grayed out for you to register now unless your advisor has cleared you to register. If that's the case, then you can register yourself in classes. All right, so let me go back to where I was. When you're looking at your schedule, we've got a mix of different class codes here. If it says online, which is going to be the web, that means your class is 100% online. That means you can work on your class at 3 o'clock in the morning, or you can work on your class at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. As long as you are meeting your instructor's deadlines, you're golden. You're good to go. A hybrid course is going to be taught both in class and online. Most of the time for hybrid courses, you're going to see this as one of our science classes. So for example, a hybrid course could be maybe biology, where the lecture is in person and the lab is online. A flex class. A flex class is going to be an online class that meets at a designated day and time via Zoom. That means you can be anywhere, right? As long as you have a nice quiet space to be able to access and Wi-Fi to be able to access Zoom. So you might have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday Zoom class at 9. You can be in bed, you can be at the library, whatever, right? But you have to log into Zoom for that class. That's what those mean. This is what your schedule could potentially look like in the My Carlisle review. Okay, so if you have classes on here and they're checked, registered, but not started, okay, good. If this is on here and it has nothing underneath it, that just means that that class has been planned for you, but you are not enrolled in that class. If you want to be enrolled in that class, please reach out to your advisor, or you can potentially register yourself on the My Carlisle. Right here is going to have your instructor. Right here is going to have the day and time. Okay? If there is a specific time and day, that means your class is either going to be in person or it's going to be one of those flex classes where it's Zoom. If it just gives you a date range, that means it's going to be online. And then over here has the location as well. So if it's online, it'll say Web Campus Online. If it's in person, it's going to give you which campus and the building number. This is the printed view. This is the view that all of you got in your emails. So it'll say same thing, it's just in a little bit different format, okay? The location, if it says TBD, that means it's an online class, right? And then if it is on campus, it'll give you the building and the room number. Okay. I sped through that, threw out a lot of information at you. So I'm going to take just a moment to pause here and see if anybody has any questions. Okay. So, whoops, going too far. I would like to say that in a moment, we will split up into a couple groups if you need to stay, and I'll explain that. But if you have looked at your schedule, okay, you've seen this type of thing sent in your email from one of the advisors, and you are good with that schedule, before you leave today, in the chat, you will need to make sure that you say, I state your name. So my example would be like, I, Ashley Moore, verify my schedule. If you do not verify your schedule before you leave us today, you are at risk of being dropped from classes. So we got to make sure that you're verifying your schedule. We want to make sure as advisors that you've seen that schedule and you agreed to it. Okay, and I'll go over that again in just a moment before we leave. Couple more things, and then I promise we're wrapping it up. Okay, so important dates and withdrawal. Now, the last day to be able to add any classes is going to be August 18th, and you can actually see that right here on this expanded calendar. That's gonna be the last day to add any classes. The last day to drop any classes without any charges or it showing up on your transcript with any grades is going to be August 25th. Okay. If at some point during the semester you are struggling in a class and you're just like, I'm here, I'm drowning, whatever, I'm afraid I'm gonna fail, right? If you can, before you get to that point, reach out to your instructor. All the instructors here at Carl Albert are just absolutely amazing. They really are. And even if you're fully online, you have access to some online tutoring through tutor.com on your Blackboard account. And then also your instructors, they are willing to work with you. They will set up office hours, they will set up Zoom sessions, whatever they need to do to help you succeed. So if you start struggling in class, please contact your instructors, right? Don't just sit there and suffer. They want to help you. But if life happens, whatever, if you need to withdraw from your class, it's always better to withdraw from a class than have an F on your transcript. A W is not going to affect your GPA, but a F will quickly tank your GPA. Okay? I do want to say that if you have multiple W's and you're constantly withdrawing, you will risk losing your financial aid. So you need to be mindful of that as well. But as far as, should I get a W? Should I get an F? The W is always better. Fs are going to tank your GPA. Fs are certainly going to mess up your financial aid because you have to have a certain GPA to keep those financial aid requirements. Okay. So if throughout the semester you do need to withdraw from a class, right? Whatever reason, you're not meshing well with your instructor, you're struggling, life slaps you in the face, whatever, you will call the admissions office for that. Okay, they'll help you do that. Also on this calendar, I'll go ahead and click on it. This is going to show you the dates. Well, oh, right here. Sorry. One more click. This is also going to show you the dates of when holidays are. So when campus is closed. And then it will also show you like the last day to drop with a W, last day to drop with a W or F. If you are struggling and it is finals week, you cannot withdraw from that class. You will just get an F on finals week. So if you are struggling, make sure you get that stuff taken care of way before finals week. Okay? Yes, Bailey, if you're wanting to do some schedule changes, we'll be doing that in just a moment. Thank you for that question. Okay. Questions on W's versus F's in our academic calendar. All right. Thank you guys for hanging in with me. So this is the last thing that we are going to do before you potentially split up into a group. Okay, so if you have had a chance to look at your schedule and you are good, golden, yes, you're ready to go, you're ready for school to start, then in the chat before you leave, you must type I, your first and last name, verify my fall 2026 schedule. If you do not do that before you leave this Vike Ready session, you are at risk of us dropping your classes. So that is very important. Okay. So if you've done that, great. Awesome. If you do not have any more questions for us at all, then right after I say this next thing, then you'll be free to go. Okay. If you do have questions or you need to make any changes on your schedule, hang out with us just for a little bit longer. We're going to split off into groups, and that way Delana and I can both answer your questions. And if you gotta go, right, I respect that. It's 6:15. I told you I'd get you out of here by 6:30. If you have to go, but you do have questions, scroll up to the very top of the chat and make an appointment with myself or Delana, or shoot us an email. You know, we would be happy to help answer those questions. Okay, so thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. We hope that this was helpful to you. I know I threw a ton of information at you in less than an hour. I am going to follow up, and before I leave the office tonight, I will send you this presentation, and I will send you our You Can Book Me links. And then if you need anything else at all, feel free to email us back and we would be happy to help. Okay, so at this time, if you have verified in the chat, sent the verification for your schedule, and you have no questions, you guys can leave. And again, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you do have questions, please hold on for just a moment. We'll see how many people stay on, and if we need to split into groups, we definitely can do that. Good. Okay. All right. Perfect, Donna. I see that you need to leave, but we will make sure we get our You Can Book Me's and we'll get you set up with an appointment, okay? We'll make sure
Thank
you're
you so much.
comfortable before classes start. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
Allie, if you're still with us, I honestly don't know the name of the person for Cherokee Nation, but I will find it for you and we'll send that to you. I'm gonna make myself a note. We'll get that information to you. If anything on this presentation, the link is in there. You can start there and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right.
Hey, Ashley, there's a question on here. Will they have access to the recorded session?
Yeah, absolutely. I can send that. I can send that too. It's a longer one, so it'll take a moment to download, but I can send the recorded version as well. That's great. I didn't even think about doing that, so thank you to whoever asked that. Okay. Um, let's see. Delana, do you want to go ahead and split us up into groups?
Okay.
It's not giving me the option to be able to do that.
Okay.
For the 20 people that are still here, what we're gonna do is split us up into groups. That way we can get your questions answered quicker and get you going for the night.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So I see several of you have stayed on for specific questions. So honestly, if you just want to unmute yourself, uh, excuse me, and start asking away.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Will the the people who's in charge of the class, will
Uh-huh.
they be okay with financial aid?
Brittany, you still there? All right. Well, I'm not sure what Brittany's question was going to be. Maybe she'll join us back or shoot me an email. All right. Piper, I see that you're unmuted. Did you have a question?
Yes. So when I tried to join, or I did the whole, like, all the steps that the email sent to
Okay.
do to try to get into my Carl Albert and things like that. And
Uh-huh.
I did it, and it sent the green, and all of my info was in the green.
Yeah.
And then when I tried to log in and put it into the thing, it keeps telling me I'm wrong. I've redone it like 5 different times,
Okay.
and it's just not letting me in. And I also didn't get that email that has my schedule. I know I'm enrolled. It says I'm enrolled in the email. I just can't log into my information, and I haven't gotten that email that shows my schedule.
Okay. All right. Piper, I'm gonna make myself a note.
Okay.
Your
And I did schedule a meeting with you or whatever the advisor thing is.
okay.
Um, if that's something that needs to be like a one-on-one thing, then that's totally
Okay.
fine. I talked to my coach, who's apparently they're like advisors or whatever, and he
Yeah.
said it's not a big deal. That's probably something I can deal with move-in day, like that week or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's not, I'd like to be on top of it and get it done now.
Yeah, of course. If there's a specific time or day on my You Can Book Me that you want to schedule, we can schedule to talk about specific things. I'm making myself a note here. Piper, what's your last name?
Morton, Morton.
All right. I've made myself a note to send your schedule to you. Sorry that you didn't already have that. And then Loki, I already forgot what your first question was.
Um,
Actually, well, it was originally that she had also never received her schedule through email, which I have
Oh,
not
the
received
email.
mine either.
Okay, yeah. So if you guys are having, I'm sorry that you guys are potentially having problems getting logged into that. You're not the only ones. I don't know what's going on. But whenever I send out the presentation and our recording here today, I will highlight that. Oh my gosh, words are hard. I've been here way too long. The IT link. The IT link, you guys go ahead, start filling those out. And then hopefully they can get to you guys. I will let you guys know our campus is closed tomorrow. On Friday, it's just our summer hours, so they won't be able to get to you until Monday. But I will I'm gonna make myself a note, send IT ticket link.
and do we still need to put in the group chat that we're satisfied with our schedule or whatever?
Piper, since you don't have your schedule yet, you can't verify it.
Okay, yeah.
I've made that note too, so you're okay that you didn't put that in the chat, so that's perfect
Can
fine.
can I also be okay? Because I never received an email either, and I can't really verify.
Okay, yep, I'll add you to that, Sydney.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if there's anybody else that maybe didn't receive their schedule, it would have been on an email that like says like, welcome to CASC, your advisor has planned and something something your schedule. So if it's not on there, I'm sorry about that, and we will get it together and get that sent to you. Okay?
When do you want us to verify if the email gets resent? When do we just email you individually, or do we come
Yeah,
like?
yeah, that's a great question, Sydney. So as soon as I am able to get that sent to you, then again, I'm gonna try to do all this before I leave for the evening. And just whenever you get a chance to look over that schedule, you'll just email me back and say schedule is good, or I verify my schedule. Um, and then you'll be good to go.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Madison, I think you might have had a question.
Yeah, so on my schedule, it
Mm-hmm.
has like CPR, not CPR, it's like first aid or
Okay.
whatever. But I have a current CPR and first aid certification because I have to keep up with it for my job.
Okay.
Is that still a course that I need to take, or do I need to drop it and put something else there? Whenever I sent my CDA in, they said that they didn't need my CPR card. So I
Right.
didn't.
Yeah, so for the elementary education degree, you do need one what we call hyper class. That can for elementary, yeah, that can either be standard first aid, or it can be personal health and wellness. So if you don't want to take a first aid class and you want to do personal health and wellness, you can, but unfortunately, having that certification doesn't take place at that class. Honestly, I wish it would. That would be so cool. Um, but you'll still have to either take first aid or you'll have to take personal health and wellness.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Well, that was a great question, Madison. I had never thought about that. So, thank you for that. All right, Kaylee, do you have a question?
Yes. If I am not satisfied with my schedule and I'm
Yeah.
wanting to add more courses,
Yeah.
at what point would I verify that with you and where would I go to do that?
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to hang out here for just a little bit, we certainly can go over that today. Or if you want to set up another time, we can.
Right
Um,
now, it's fine.
that's okay. Okay. Are you okay if I share my screen? Now there are some other people here that
Yeah,
would be
go
able to
ahead.
see your information. Okay. All right. All right. Kaylee, can you see that all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ashley, is it okay if we leave if I still haven't received my schedule yet? Is it okay for me to?
Yeah, Sydney, I have a note here to send you your schedule, so if you don't have any other questions, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. You guys have a good
Yeah,
day. Okay,
thank you.
bye bye.
All right, Kaylee, what on here are you wanting to take something off? What do we
No, I'm just wanting to add more courses. Well, how many hours do I need to be considered full time?
full time is going to be 12 credit hours. Now, I let me check on this human anatomy because they did. Oh, girl, look at that. They opened a new section of human anatomy and there's one more. So we're going to get you in that.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so now you are full-time. Let
All
me,
right.
you're full-time, you got those 12 credit hours, so I'm glad we were able to get that taken care of. So these are going to be your classes. Are you good with this or do you want to add another one?
I think I'm good with that.
Okay. I would suggest sticking with that many as well, especially with that anatomy, having that lab and everything. So,
Yes.
all right. Kaylee, do you have any other questions I can help you with today?
No, I think that's all. I'm gonna verify, and then I think that's it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for your time today. All right. Anybody else in our little group here have some more questions?
I don't have my schedule.
Okay, you don't have your schedule either. I also, Kiona, is that your name?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize for that, and I will make sure we get that sent over to you again before I leave today. I'm gonna send you your schedule.
Okay.
And you know what? While we're just here looking at it, let me just pull this up. Okay. Ah, Kiana, do I have your permission to share the screen with your personal information on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, actually, it looks like Madison left, so it's just us now. So, I'm not sure who your advisor was because I don't see any notes yet, but it looks like this is what you are registered in, and I will send this to you, but you've got Comp 1. Now this Comp 1 lab, this is going to be because your test scores for your reading and your English were low.
Uh-huh.
And so we don't offer remedial classes anymore. Instead, we have what is called this Composition 1 lab. You
Uh-huh.
take 1 credit hour. There are small assignments in there that you will need to complete, but it's kind of like a built-in tutoring to help you pass that Comp 1. Now, if
Okay.
you don't want to take that lab, then you can take the reading acuplacer and the writing acuplacer, and you can test out of that class. So that is an option as well. I will say that if you kind of struggle with English and with writing, I would suggest staying in that lab.
Uh-huh.
But if you're like, you know what, I feel fine about my writing skills, I want to take that test, then you can do that too. Either way.
I'll just stay in it.
Okay, perfect. And then you have Survey of Contemporary Math, Freshman Orientation, and American Federal Government. How does that schedule look to you?
Yeah. I think it's good.
You good with that? Okay.
Yeah.
And then I will go ahead and send this to you. But if before you leave you just want to verify your schedule in the chat, you can. Kiona, do you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, perfect. I will work on emailing this to you. And if you'll just in the chat, just say that you verify your schedule, then we'll be good to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Hope you have a good evening.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.